We're Joanne Deal, Public Relations Manager for the Better Business Bureau, and she's here to tell us about how to spot a phony debt collector. Joanne, very important information.
Absolutely.
I get calls and I get texts and emails.
That's right. Well, this story is inspired by a grandmother who had to get her daughter to conference call with us to explain that debt collection is something that is highly governed. The Fair Debt Collection Fair Debt Collection Rule of the Federal Trade Commission has specific guidelines for what debt collectors can do. And you know, you've got a segment coming up with Ask a Lawyer. It's very important to know the Louisiana Consumer Credit Code rules too. So be sure and pay attention to these people that are about to speak about this. So payday loans in particular, people call us about. There's this thing called phantom debt, where a debt has actually already been paid off, but the debt collectors will purchase the right to that, and then they'll try to collect for it a second time. So remember, with fair debt collection, there are certain things that they can't do, and they of course can't call you before certain times and after certain times. They can't contact you at work. They can't contact you by email or text, and of course messaging on social media is prohibited. So for more about this, be sure and go to the website, and be sure and pay attention to ftc.gov as well as the Louisiana Code, and pay attention to the Ask a Lawyer segment.
Absolutely. And so if they call you early in the morning at 7 a.m. or they call you after, did you say 8 a.m.?
At 9 p.m.
9 p.m.
And of course, if they threaten you, be sure and pay attention to the tactics they use. They can't threaten you. Anything that sounds harsh probably is against the Fair Debt Collection Act. All you have to do is Google it at ftc.gov. And of course, with the Louisiana laws, you can always just Google Louisiana laws pertaining to debt collection. So this is a very important consumer point that people need to understand. If you're, other people who have the same name, like there are many people who have my name, and people will attempt to collect other people's debts. So they will probably even know that it's not your debt, but if you talk to them, you could possibly end up claiming a debt that you shouldn't. So please don't talk to them on the phone. Please do your research. They have to notify you by mail within 5 days once they make a phone contact. So if you never get that, you do need to know that the debt probably doesn't exist. So remember, ask these questions. Did they refuse to tell you more about the debt? Did they sell the debt or hire a company to collect it? And who was the original debtor, for example? And did you get a phone call but you didn't recognize? So there's many things you can do. Most important thing is to do your research before you even answer any debt, or never say yes, of course, in these scenarios.
And you can always call the Better Business Bureau. And
That's
you mentioned
correct.
Ask a Lawyer sessions. We're going to have information on that coming up after the break, so stay with us.